You are listening to the Two Writers Walk Into a Bar podcast. In every episode, our goal is to help, inspire, and celebrate authors' journey to publication by reading and critiquing query letters, then tackle a writing topic we hope you find helpful.
Hey y'all, how you doing?
Hey!
Two writers walk into a bar back with you. It was my wonderful host Angela,
Yes, hi guys.
and so yeah, we got a query that we're going to be going over today.
Yeah, we do.
Um,
It's a good one too.
yeah, but before we get into that, are you drinking anything today?
I am. I'm drinking my regular beer, except I put it in a glass today. Fancy.
Nice. You've seen it before, the grand,
hmm
typical, fancy. But
It's a beer day. Let me tell you, it's so hot over here.
yeah, it's pretty warm here too. We finally caught up to you.
Yay!
I
Oh, that's
know.
awesome.
It was raining all weekend and cold. And I'm like, go away. I need warmth.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So,
that's awesome. I got all the fans going. The windows are open.
oh damn.
My allergies are allergene.
Yeah, same. I mean, mine are getting a little better. Finally, the damn tree pollen's starting to, you know, get out of town. So
That's good.
starting to feel a little bit better than I did
Oh, that's
last week,
good.
which is why we're a week late. Because
Yes, we
last
are.
Monday, I looked like a raccoon. My eyes were just swollen and nasty. It was not good. So
Yeah, we both have suffered from allergies and
yeah,
spring. It's allergy season sucks.
it does. It can, yes. So what are you reading?
Okay, so don't kill me.
I'm gonna
I'm
kill you.
still reading the Cursed Cruise. I didn't do much reading this week, guys,
Yeah.
but after we go through our query, I'll explain why.
Okay. Yeah, for
All
sure.
right.
And I am still on the ninth house.
Oh,
Finally,
yes.
Bardugo.
Okay, so how are you liking it so far?
I went back and forth. Like I liked it. I didn't like it. I liked it. I didn't like it. Um, it just felt really YA to me
Is it
in
adult? It's
parts.
adult though, right?
It's adult though, yes.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then
Mhm.
but everyone says it takes a while for it to get going. So once I hit the threshold, now I love it. Now it's awesome.
Oh, okay. Oh,
But it
that's
was
good to
really
know.
bouncing between like I was like, do I DNF? Like I'm like a third of the way through, and
I
it
for,
just yeah.
I forget that you DNF because I don't DNF.
Yeah,
I
I
just push
DNF
through.
not often, except for J. Kristoff Empire.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
me. Yeah,
My bad, dude.
I couldn't do that, but that's okay. I tried. Um, I DNF'd Ken Liu's The Dandelion Dynasty. I just couldn't do it. I got
Yeah.
through half of it, and I'm just like, I don't give a shit.
Oh,
And
that
everybody
sucks.
raves. They loved that book, and they say it's amazing, and the whole series. And I couldn't do it. So, and
Yeah.
then I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean it's okay. I mean, like I didn't DNF, but I did not
Yeah,
love The Cruel Prince by Holly Black that everyone raves
yeah.
about, loves and obsessed over. I just couldn't do. I mean, I finished it just because I can't DNF, whatever. But I
Yes.
did not love it. So I get that.
It happens, I guess. Yeah. I really, really tried. I was almost stuck on it for a month and a half, just where I'd like
Ah,
read half a chapter and like then I couldn't do it. But I'm also listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is a
okay.
pulpy, fun
Oh, I've
book
never
on
heard that one.
Audible. Yeah. The basic premise, I won't bore everybody. We'll get into the query here, but the basic premise is an alien nation takes over Earth and turns it into an entire video game dungeon. And
What?
you have to level up and get weapons and get skills. And the main character Carl goes in with his girlfriend's show cat named Princess Donut.
Oh
And
my gosh.
it's a mix of humor and like it's hilarious, but like I love the characters. I'm almost done listening to it. So
Hey, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. So it
it was
sounds
fun
pretty
as shit.
boss.
It was fun. But anyway, back on track. We got to get to the query here.
Okay.
Um, yeah, if you want to take over from
All
here.
right. Yes. So we do have a query, guys. Was sent in by, and gosh, please forgive me for butchering your last name. I'm so sorry. By Julia Mihalik. I think that's how you say it. I
Mahalik,
apologize if
yes.
Mahalik,
Yeah.
Mahalik, sorry. Okay,
Mahalik, Mahalik, yeah.
so I'll get right into it. All right, dear X, a Dungeons and Dragon inspired cross between these hollow vows and wild magic, my adult fantasy, redacted, is the story of an isolated woman leaving home for the first time to find answers about the mother she never knew and the mess she left behind. As the agent that represented, and she has insert book, I thought you'd be a wonderful fit for Redacted at 124,000 words. It is the first book in a planned trilogy. And if I say this name wrong, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. Atariel, a young queer half elf woman, expects to die in the village she was born in. But when she is told that a necromancer is after her because of her blood, she must venture into the larger world she's never been a part of before it. She's never been a part of before it's destroyed. She is tasked with gathering the places of an ancient weapon from magical animals, all while being assaulted by ghosts from her past, both literally and figuratively. Unsure of whom to trust, she struggles with the most important questions. How is her deceased mother involved? Who is this necromancer? And how can she hope to defeat him when her greatest fear is taking a life? I live in Portland, Oregon with my wife. I started writing this book as a sophomore in college, working on my bachelor's degree in animal biology. I also read and review about 100 books a year and have been deeply invested in fantasy since that fateful day I was introduced to Lord of the Rings at 5 years old. As the agent who represents, and she has an insert name of an author, you have an impressive list when it comes to blank. You would be a great fit because while similar in blank, blank makes it distinct. If you're interested in reading Redacted, I'd be happy to forward a sample of any length you suggest. Thank you for your consideration, Julia. Okay, so thank you. First of all, thank you, Julia, for sending in your query and first pages. We always appreciate you guys trusting us with your work, and we always say that we're here to just help you guys. Because we are critique partners and we help each other, so we're like, let's just help others. So
Yeah.
so I will say, okay, so right off the bat, I do love the you have your hook, which is great. You give two comps, these hollow vowels and wild magic. These hollow vowels is actually a young adult fantasy, and your book is adult fantasy. So I would try to find another adult fantasy to compare to because you're basically just telling the agent that your book is going to sit next to like this book on the shelf, right? Your adult fantasy book is not going to sit next to a young adult fantasy book. It's going to be at a completely different area at the bookstore, okay? And then also the other comp, Wild Magic, it's pretty old. That was published in 1992. So you have an old, I feel like way too old of a comp, um, and also a comp that's not in the same um, category. You have a young adult when it should be adult. Okay, so those were the first couple of things that popped up at me. So, just do like a Google search. It doesn't have to be identical to yours. It could be elements of, it could be like the same, like maybe a similar magic system or a similar elf and human hybrid situation, whatever. Okay. Um, and then the other thing is you said your book is 124,000. Um, for a debut author, it's a little on the high side. I listened to the Shit No One Talks About Writing podcast, and they are mentioning recently that editors are looking for shorter books by debut authors. I don't know, I guess it's just something that's kind of trending. Um, so, I mean, you could keep it at 124,000 if you want, but you might get some declines because of that, just as a debut author. Also, instead of just saying that it's the first book in a planned trilogy, just say that it has series potential because this book needs to be a book all on its own. From start to finish, your book has to read as a novel that a reader can read and be satisfied with. Just in case you don't sell or get picked up as a series. So it has to be, so if you want it to be a series potential, I would say it is a standalone novel with series potential, so that the agent knows that it is a standalone novel and that if anything, they could sell at least this first book and you'll be, you'll be set. Hopefully you get to pick up the series because fantasy series are pretty popular. So it's very possible that you could do that. But I would just put it's a standalone novel with series potential. Um, and then I had a couple of questions. You say here she's a young queer half elf woman expects to die in the village she was born in. Why? Is it because of her? Is it because of her blood? Um, because then you say, but when she is told that a necromancer is after her because of her blood, she must venture into the larger world she's never been a part of before it's destroyed. Again, why? So, why does she expect to die in the village? I'm guessing it's not because of the necromancer. I'm guessing the necromancer is why she has to leave her world and go into, I'm guessing like the human world. I don't know. I'm just guessing, okay? My question is why? Is she a young queer half woman expects to die in the village because she was born as a sacrifice? You know what I mean? Like maybe just spell that out because it's way too vague. It's way too vague. It's leaving questions, but not like I'm curious. I'm more like confused. So you don't want to do that. You want to like spell out enough to where to keep us curious, but also, not confused. Okay. And then, so why does she have to venture into the larger world she's never been a part of before it's destroyed? Why is it going to be destroyed? Why does she have to venture into it? Is she part of a prophecy? You say she is tasked with gathering the pieces of an ancient weapon from magical animals. Why? So I just have some why questions there. So I would rework those sentences and give a little bit more detail about her in the world that she is in and why she has to leave. And then let's see the questions. You never want to give that big picture question. You don't want to sit there and say, how is her deceased mother involved? Who is this necromancer? And how can she hope to defeat him when her greatest fear is taking a life? You don't want to, they don't want questions like that. So they kind of want you to connect that with her emotional wound. So like you could say something like, Atariel, greatest fear is taking a life. So you could start that off with she's like, a young queer health woman. Her emotional wound is she's afraid of taking a life, right? Which is totally understandable. And so you could pose your question as, Ontario must figure out um, why she's being hunted, um, why she, I'm trying to think of a way that you can word it, but something about like she must figure out why she's hunted by a necromancer while also dealing with the fact that she's, doesn't want to take this life. She's scared of taking a life, so maybe like facing this necromancer, she's going to be faced with something she doesn't want to do. So instead of posing that as a question, make it a statement so that we kind of get a sense of her arc, because that's what that sentence is supposed to do. You're giving some sort of clue about her arc and her emotional wound and this choice that she has to make before this big bad thing happens. I love the bio. I thought the bio was great. I like how you started this while you were in college. I think that's great, especially when you're learning about or your degrees in animal biology. So I can only imagine there's some really cool science in this fantasy book, which actually makes me excited because I love that. I love it when people add some science to their fantasy books. I just love it. I'm not a smart person when it comes to science, so I kind of love to see it though. I think it's interesting, especially when people can dumb it down for me so that I can get it. Okay, so Ken, did you have any other input on the query before we get started on the first pages?
You nailed it pretty much. It was really vague in the beginning. That really stuck out to me. Like, why does she wanna die in her village? Like, is she so happy that she wants to just live out she's happy with her life, so she just wants to stay there forever? You know, like, there's no reasoning
Oh, because she's
there that we
half
were missing.
elf,
So you
because elves live forever, right? They have like a long lifespan.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe that's
yeah.
why. Okay, yeah. But
But, I mean, there's a million but I'm
yeah.
guessing because
Yeah.
there's it's a little bit too vague.
Yes.
You're going in the right direction, just maybe you need to dial it in just a little bit on the think, and I think that would be a lot better. And then word counts. Yeah, my last book was 137,000 words, and I didn't get a single request. Maybe that's because I suck, but maybe that's because my word count was
No.
137,000. You know,
I'm
um,
telling you, if you guys listen to that podcast, they've been mentioning how editors want shorter books of debut authors. I don't know
yeah,
why. They're like, even they'll even take 65,000 words from a debut author, which I thought
holy shit.
was, yeah, I was like, whoa, not maybe not for fantasy.
Yeah, no,
Maybe not for fantasy, but just over, like, they're
yeah, like a
fine with, if you,
thriller. Yeah,
yeah, like if you have a 65,000 word, like, they're taking them. So just food for thought. We're just putting it out there.
so maybe that word count is what held you back. From
Yeah.
as a debut offer. Maybe once you get published, then they don't give a shit about word count, and they'll trust you a little
Mhm.
more. But for starting out, it's probably best to keep it sub 100, which is a lesson I learned from my last book, which was, 137K, and I thought it was my best work. But my book before that was only 90K, and I got a request from an agent for it. So maybe that has a big thing to do with it.
I would
So I would look at
suggest,
that.
yeah, and I would suggest, Julia, is going through each scene and ask yourself, is this scene doing something for the plot? And be honest with yourself. If you're reading and you're like, oh, well, we didn't learn anything new about this. We didn't learn anything. She didn't learn anything as her, it didn't, like, help her character arc. Then maybe it's a scene that you could cut to bring down that word count.
Yeah.
Which, it's hard to do because, that the old saying, kill your darlings. It
Yep.
sucks because we put so much time and effort and energy in our heart. It's hard to kill those scenes and to kill, even get rid of characters. So, but
It
just
is.
go through with a critical eye and ask yourself, what is the scene doing? And then maybe you could take parts of it and add it to another scene just to kind of cut it down. So just something to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, so Julia sent her first 3 pages. Okay. I want to talk about the first line. I'm gonna read it. My eyes searched the trees for something out of place, and finding none, became lost in the green, as if it had its own gravity. Um, I don't know what that means. um, My eyes searched the trees for something out of place, and finding none, became lost in the green, as if it had its own gravity. Um, I don't know. I was a little bit confused by that. One thing that I know that agents do prefer, and this is not all agents, obviously, that
Yeah.
they love it when you start your story inside the mind of your character instead of a narration, or you know what I mean, like, this is a narration. She's narrating to us what she's seeing. Instead, let us get inside her mind right away, because, as like we always say on here, people read for your character. They want to follow your character. They either want to love them or love to hate them. Okay. And the best way to do that is through interiority. So the best thing you want to do is give that first line to hook us and give us insight into the character right away. So that when we read that line, we're like, ooh, I like this character. Or, oh,
Or
this character.
or give us the genre too. Like, the first line is really nice if you can give us the genre. Like, we know it's a fantasy. Lean into that. You know, like, describe something that would put it as a fantasy genre also. Like, the opening line is beautiful. It's poetic, it's purple, it's pretty,
Mm-hmm.
but it means nothing. Like, it doesn't place us anywhere. Like, she searched the trees to find something that's not supposed to be there, and then
Right.
she gets lost into the green. Like, she hazes out because the trees, like, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe later, it just doesn't mean anything at the beginning. Like,
Yeah, it's not grabbing. It's
it
just not
means
grabbing.
nothing.
Yeah.
It's pretty, but means nothing. Nobody like I've read a lot and like seen a lot of agents say that you really want to give them the genre, like, and this is in short stories too, but like it's really good to give them the genre, like, where are we?
Yeah, it
Um,
gives some insight into where the
what are
story is
we?
going.
What are we
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you got to give a little bit of the genre there, like,
Mhm.
you know, an
Yeah.
elf walks by or like, and then oh shit, we're in fantasy, type world, but
Yeah. So I would work a little bit on that first line.
for
And
sure.
then going into the pages, her pages are there's three looks like three girls are hanging out together. And one of them's asking her, like, would you save me? And she's saying, like, yeah. There's some cute little banter there. There's a panther, and then they leave and they go walking into the village. So one thing that I noticed, there's not a lot of interiority here for your main character. Um, she has two friends, are Margaret and
Kiera,
Kiera.
Kiera, yeah,
Okay. But she doesn't tell us anything about her friends. Like, she doesn't say, like, they're asking her, like, would you save me? And she's not thinking to herself, I would go to the ends of the earth for my friends, or I would, burn under a stake or something. Like, let us see what she thinks of or maybe she doesn't really care for them. I don't know. Like, I would have liked to have been inside her mind as these girls are asking her to get a sense of how close they are or not. Okay, I'm guessing they're close though. Okay, so just by going off that, I'm going to say they're close. So I wanted to know, what does she think of them? How does she feel about them? You
yeah,
didn't really give much of that. So there's a lot of like dialogue that happens right away, like the second. So right after that first line that I read, you go straight into dialogue, which it's like it's okay, but I just was kind of like, I wanted to get to know a little bit more of her to hear her voice, so that I can hear that coming through the dialogue, right?
yeah,
So I don't know her voice right away, so I was just kind of just reading it, right? Um, but I would like a little bit more interiority, because you don't give interiority until the last paragraph of the 3 pages that you sent us. You
yeah,
finally go in a little bit of interiority, and I would have liked to see that more from the beginning of the first page. I would have loved to see that a little bit more, just to get to know the character, because I don't know much about her
yeah,
other than that she's a half elf, half human, but that's it, right? Like, I know she has a bow and arrow. Like, is she like, I don't know, an amateur with her bow and arrow, or is she like a warrior? Like, are the girls saying, like, she's like a badass with her bow and arrow? I don't know. So just, I would say, focus a little bit more on getting the reader to understand her better and understand her relationship with these two girls better. Like, really just put it out there,
yeah,
with the interiority. But other than that, I was fine with it. I love the idea of a half elf, half human. I
yeah,
think that's fantastic. I love the idea of a necromancer. I love a good mystery of what's the mom's involvement is with all of this. So I
yeah,
think you got some good stuff here.
for sure.
It just would tweak that query. It's too vague, and then fix these pages and go through and make sure you have enough interiority. I'm guessing at 124,000 words, you do, at least I hope I do, unless it's all narration. And you really want to be careful, because you've got to have that balance between the narration and interiority. And the pages that you sent me, it was like 95% narration and
Yeah,
just a little bit of interiority, and that's too high. You really want to get us more, and narration is fine, because in fantasy you need that, right? Because you're setting the scene, and, like, the world building and all of that, but you got to make sure you add some of that interiority, which is lacking in these pages. So but yeah, other than that, Ken, did you want to add anything?
yeah, for sure. Definitely. definitely interiority. Obviously, you nailed that down pretty good. But just like the opening part, though, you could definitely use that opening part, but you just got to flesh it out too, and maybe use a little more physical stuff like that'll tell us whether Atariel is a seasoned bow user. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you can talk about the worn parts of her bow, the way her palm fits into the warm groove, which means she's been shooting it forever, or
Yeah.
maybe the edge is jabbing to her palm, showing that it's a
Perfect.
brand new bow. There's like little tiny details like that that would really be helpful.
Clues. Yeah, little
Yeah, clues.
clues that give us insight. Yeah, I love it.
But
True.
even the opening line there, like my eye searched the trees for some out of place, that could work in finding none. And then you could talk about the path that winds, across the village. A bird caws overhead. I'm making pulling shit out of my ass right now, but you know, you can do that and set the settings for where they are. But it's way too short and way too vague for just a single sentence there. If you stretch that out to a paragraph, then you might have an opening there, like
Hmm.
explain where they are, show where they are, or else you're gonna, even though you have some really nice add-ons to the dialogues down here, um, you kind of can get a white room syndrome a little bit if you go too much. Like I feel like we need a lot more description in that opening line. I think that would
Yeah.
be huge. Like where are they? Like what does it sound like? What time of year is it? Like is it snowing? We have no idea like any of this crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
you know.
Definitely
So
painting the scenery and then getting inside her mind for sure. Yeah.
yeah, and so I really love the idea. I
Yeah.
think your dialogue reads really cool.
Hmm.
So you have stuff here. It was just missing a little bit of interiority and actually description for me, and you know how I am with description.
No, you're
Like
right. You're right. There
yeah,
wasn't enough explaining where they are
where they are,
exactly.
like because you also want to get to know the character, but you want to like brush the reader into the world. Like you know, a few little details, extra description will be like,
Yeah, like, are they
oh
in a
shit, like a
forest?
bird
Yeah.
like chirping over here. Like as a reader, I want to know that because then I have an idea. Like
Yeah.
spatially, it puts me in that, and then I can get to know your character with more interiority. So yeah,
Mhm.
that would be my suggestions. But I think you got a lot of good stuff here for sure, and a lot to work with. Good bones here.
Yeah. Yeah, and just go through, Julia, go through your manuscript. Make sure you don't have the white room. Make sure you have enough interiority. You probably have. It's probably very heavy on the action, and you might need to go back and, I mean, just by going off these pages, you don't have enough interiority in these first few pages. And I think if an agent was reading this, they would probably pass because it doesn't feel like you have enough interiority. So, and you can always find a critique partner or find a beta reader. But critique partner will probably be best because another writer is going to be able to point things out to you chapter by chapter. So,
For
and
sure.
that's what Ken and I do for each other. We send one chapter at a time, and we critique and read it and go through and say, this is working, it's not working, or whatever, or I'm confused, or whatever. So,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely get, if you don't have a critique partner, definitely get one. And that will help you, especially with the first chapter, with these first few pages, and even your query. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, thank you, Julia, for sending us your query package. We wish you all the best. And again, like we always say, if you get picked up and you get agented and you get published, hit us back up. And, we'd love to have you back talking about your book. And if you'd like to do a revision on this query, feel free to send us the revision in our email, and we'll go through it. We'll critique it through the email. We won't put it back on the podcast. We'll just kind of critique it through the email.
Yeah.
Hey, writer friends! Querying is hard, and putting together a query letter is even harder. We want to help. Send us your query letter and first 3 pages to our email at twowritersinabar@gmail.com, and we'll read your query on air and give feedback on your first pages. And don't forget to tell us where we can find you on social media so we can share it with all our listeners. We want to help, inspire, and celebrate with you on your writing journey. Reading week.
Yes, I
I had
did.
a shitty reading rig. I did not hardly read, guys, at all. But I
Yeah,
did finish my manuscript. So I finished it last week. I haven't done any edits on it yet because I'm kind of just trying to take a little bit of a break.
yeah,
But I did have to go. I did go through and flesh out a few things, and I've kind of been reading it just to see if there's some things that I can fix.
yeah.
So, but yeah, but yes, I finished this manuscript. I'm gonna hopefully start editing it next week, go through, and then I'll start sending you chapters.
Oh
But
yeah.
I didn't make it to 80K though. I made it
No.
to like 70, 71, something like that.
Okay.
Once I got through the climax and everything, and I added everything, I got to almost 71. um but
Nice.
i but I feel like it's okay. Like I don't feel like I'm missing anything.
Yeah.
I do. The only thing I want to fix are a couple of things. I have like the character secrets, and I kind of did a cheap lazy um I did like a lazy confessional. And so now I kind of want to go back and fix those and make them a little bit more creative and a little bit more of giving my character agency on her discovering their secrets. So
Okay.
that's one thing that I'm trying to fix right now. So there's some structure issues that I'm trying to work through. So
Uh,
once I can get through those, then I'll start going through edits and like, making everything pretty and then make sense.
yeah. I invented brand new shit.
Did you?
Yeah, just out of the blue. Just
Nice.
I was just at work and I'm like, fuck it, that'll work. That's sweet. And so
Like
I
on
made
a
up
new
brand new
story?
shit. No, no. With the story I'm writing. I
Oh,
invented
okay, okay,
brand
okay.
new shit that I had no idea was gonna happen.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you
But
gotta maybe
now it
go
is.
back and add and when you go through the
Yeah.
edits and yeah,
It's
yeah.
in my notes, yeah. I gotta
Yeah,
go
yeah,
back
yeah.
and talk about
Yeah.
shit. But
Yes.
which I do in the editing process.
Yes.
And I add in the editing process, which is fucking wild, but
Well,
I'm almost
I
there.
mean, yeah, I mean a lot of people because yeah, but you wanted to get to 70, right?
70 and I'll blow it up to 80 plus
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
just by putting my touches on it. Like I add a lot. I
Yeah.
just tell a bare bones quick story to myself
Yes.
and
Yeah.
make up shit as I go. I'm not a plotter, as y'all know.
Mhm.
And so a lot of the time I go back and just like I have to put new shit in and tie shit up and um but also my writing's not bad. Like my first draft's not horrid.
Yeah. Same. My writing isn't that bad. I kind of went back and like, oh, that was a good line that I
Yeah.
plucked out of nowhere. Yeah. So I'm kind
But
of trying to go through the
yeah.
structure.
Yeah, but you also go want to go through and add
Well, yes, yes. I mean,
pretty stuff and
yes.
like change up your descriptions a little bit. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
I feel like I did add that as I went, but yes, I do want to make it way prettier and way
yeah,
more exciting. But yeah, but I'm pretty excited that I finished this. I feel like, and I did my synopsis. I kind of was focused on the synopsis last week too, because I just
okay,
wanted to make sure that I like, because you have to do a synopsis. If you guys are listening and you haven't started querying yet, some agents are going to ask for a synopsis. So you make sure you
yeah,
have your query letter, a synopsis, and your first, like, at least three,
50.
sometimes five, sometimes 10, 20, or 50 pages. Yes.
They always
So
ask me for 50, and I'm like,
yeah. So you gotta get those before you query at least the first 50 pages cleaned up as much as possible. And then once you send those in while you're waiting for a response, you can go and finish. Well, at least that's what I do. I'll go and clean up more, but at least those first 50 pages I get them out there. And then it's just cleaning up and
yeah.
making things
Let's
pretty.
be fair. I'm not talking about being upset about having to send 50 pages. I'm upset. Sometimes I'm a little bit upset with the agents where you have to send it as its own file.
Oh yeah,
Instead of
really?
just copying it. Yes, instead of copying it into a query,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, they want 50 pages as
In its own
docx
folder. Yeah,
and its
yeah.
own, and I'm like, "Really?" Or 3
Yeah.
chapters as their own doc, or their
It's so
RTF, and I'm like,
funny. Yeah, because querying takes a long, like, if I plan on querying. I spend the whole day
Yeah,
querying because it
yeah,
takes forever.
it does.
Um, Copying and pasting, and then like you said, some agents where you have to like have give them a folder or send them their stuff, and it's like, I put the name of the book query for, and then the agent's name or whatever, so I know like where to send it or whatever. It takes a minute to, I mean, it
And
takes a
the
day.
questions
Oh, the
too, where
questions.
they're like, all right, if
Yes.
you were on a desert island, what are 3 books you'd bring? And you're like, God damn it.
Or how
You
would you
know?
describe your writing in 3 words? I don't know. I want an agent.
Yeah. Feed me, Seymour.
Yeah, like, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, the query is a trip, man. I'll tell you. But I am. So I finished a little bit early. I know on the last episode, I had said that I was hoping to be finished with the manuscript by May. So I
Yeah.
finished it before May. So now I'm hoping to spend the month of May editing and rewriting and sending it to you and my other critique partner. And I'm even considering sending this one to a beta reader.
Yeah.
I know I have a couple of friends that do a service. If I can do it, if I can work it out, I might send it to them as well, just because I don't know. I feel like I should have done that my last manuscript. I should have sent it to some beta readers, and I didn't,
I have
and
a
I
beta
kind of
reader.
regret that. Yeah, you have a beta reader?
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't have a beta reader, so
Well,
I
they're
mean,
on Critique Match, and he's never sent me a single piece of work. He just loves to
he
read
just likes to
critique.
read. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I got it. So I'm gonna do that. I think that's what messed me up on my last. I got agent requests, but then they declined. I'm like, something's not jivey or something, like, it's not like, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's not working. So I think if I had a beta reader, they probably would have said, they would have told me. So this time I'm gonna use a beta reader, I think. So hopefully maybe by June, July, I mean, I'll be querying.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I should be querying by June.
Yeah. Well, you edit fast. I take forever.
I'm really fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just faster. I thought I was
Well,
going to be done with the book. I planned on it, but the last 2 weeks of allergies just stomping my ass. I haven't had the motivation and
dude, literally, that was me
fatigue.
before. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
you can't, it's hard to like I don't know about your allergies, but I have the sneezing, the watery eye, the runny nose,
yes.
so I'm like, I can't write when I'm like sneezing all over my laptop. No,
No.
I don't
And
do that, guys. But
you saw the picture of the eyes I
I
sent
know.
you
Yeah.
that
And
last
my
Monday.
eyes are red and
They're
swollen. It's
like
like, yeah.
huge red
I know, and I
weeping.
literally was like, what if I was agent didn't publish? I'd be like, I need some time off for my allergies. They're gonna be like, we don't care. You got a deadline. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I couldn't write. I tried. I really did.
Yeah.
I just, I was exhausted. Like I get really fatigued with my allergies, where I'm just
Yeah.
like a
Hmm.
zombie. And
Well,
so,
yeah. If I'm taking Benadryl, forget it, dude. Oh my god, yeah,
but I
dead.
still wrote like 3K over the week or two.
Yeah,
It's not
it's pretty
horrid,
good.
but
Yeah.
not up to my normal standards.
Yeah, I did. What was I at? I said it was at 50,000, or almost to 50,000. And so I did, oh my God, did I do like 20,000 in 2 weeks? Is that right? I'm not good at math, guys. Okay, but
Probably. Yeah.
I was like, I just like when I figured out the voice and the character and the motivation and all of the things that I was supposed to figure out, it just flew. I flew through it and I was like, oh man, okay, I got it done. Stuff was just like all the things that the magic, not the magic, but the how they take down the bad guy. It all
Yeah.
just sort of came out, and was figuring out all the details that I hadn't figured out yet. So I know that I
Hell yeah.
plot, but I don't figure out all the details, and they were just kind of coming along, which I love when that happens. So I was able to get it done.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
yes. So we are going to be coming up to Ken. We're almost to a year of doing this podcast.
I know that's crazy.
A
Can't
whole
believe it.
almost a whole ass year. I think
I know.
May 31st, 30th, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah.
Was
Somewhere
when
in there.
we aired our first episode. So I can't
Yeah.
believe we've been doing this for a year,
I know
almost a
that's
year.
crazy.
Yes.
That's
So
wild.
it is crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll have to figure out something cool to do for that
Yeah,
for
we'll have to
sure.
do something fun for you guys.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out.
yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah.
last week I went and got a massage.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, for the first time in my life ever.
What? No
Yeah.
way.
I've never my back's kinda been hurting a little bit too with the
Mhm.
allergies, but it's been hurting for, like, a few months, and
Yeah.
this lady came at me like Macho Man Randy Savage off the top shelf. She was like, "Ah!" Like, she roughed me up.
Oh my
I
god,
couldn't
that's
walk I couldn't
crazy.
walk the next day, like, she went to town. But then the next day, felt wonderful. So thank
Yeah.
you, Macho Man Randy Savage lady, for going off the top rope onto
Well,
my back.
you'll have to go
Ah!
back again. Yes. You can be a
I have an appointment
regular.
tomorrow morning
Oh, perfect. There you go. There you
because she said
go.
she's not a miracle worker because I was pretty fucked up. So
Well, yeah, it might take a few sessions. Yeah, that's
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, do
So
you have the whole like champagne experience?
what? Champagne?
Where they like give you a glass of champagne, like a
Hell
spa,
no.
You're
Oh
not just get
hell
on the
no.
table.
This lady's in a trailer. She's like, lay down, and I'm gonna stomp your guts out. That's what she yelled. She spit into the spittoon with her chaw. I was
No.
like, "No, I'm joking."
Okay, I
She
don't
was a
know.
lovely lady.
I was
It
gonna
was a
say,
nice
I don't
place.
know if that was a massage in the trailer. Like, I don't know, sir. You might be careful there,
Yeah,
buddy.
yeah, for sure. No, she was cool. It was a normal place. It was
Oh,
great, but
that's
no
good. Yeah.
champagne, but it's more
Yeah.
sport. She's more of a sports masseuse, so, like, she's
But
really
yeah.
brutal.
So she works with injuries and things like
Yeah,
that. So like,
and
yeah.
she would, like, get me in a
Well,
place and be like and I'd be like, "Ah," and she'd be like, "Was I a bit too mean?" And but it worked out great because the day after, I could I felt limber, I felt
they can
great.
breathe.
Yeah,
Well, did
I
you
felt
tell her
great.
that you're a writer?
Yeah, and she
You
was
did?
like,
Yeah.
"Oh," she wanted to write at one point in her life, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's a
Um,
bit older, probably a little bit older than me, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had a massage and we talked the whole thing. And I was like, I guess I don't know, like some people can just sit there and relax. I can't do it.
No,
I talked through the whole damn
me
thing.
too. I was yapping. We
I know I
talked about
just
our
can't.
kids. She told me about her
Yes.
kids. Yeah.
I just can't. I also can't take a bubble bath. Like I just don't have the patience to sit there and just. I don't know. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I gotta get out of here. I
I
can't do
I
it.
I read. I go in the tub and I read, and
Really?
I'll sit there and I'll get the tub as hot as it can possibly get.
Yeah.
No bubbles, nothing fancy, and I'll just sit in there and I'll, like, look up and it's been 3.5 hours and I've read, like,
Oh
fucking 10
no.
chapters
Oh my
of my
god, I
book.
cannot do that. Now, if it
I'm
was a
all wrinkled.
jacuzzi, a
Yeah.
jacuzzi maybe, but not the bathtub. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah. That shit's awesome. Dude,
Okay,
it's
so
hot water soaking up to your neck, come on, and you're, like, lost in a story, it's
I
beautiful.
don't know. I can't do it. Like 5
Yeah,
minutes and I'm like, I'm done. I can't do it.
fair enough.
But anyway, okay, so what's your goal for this week then?
I'm gonna finish this motherfucker, I said that
Okay,
last time.
okay, all right, we're gonna
I'm
hold
gonna
you to
finish
it.
it. I'm gonna
Okay,
finish it. I'm so close. I'm so close.
you're almost
I'm
there. You're almost
I'm
there.
literally like, I know the ending, I know what happens, I know
Oh, you
everything
know
that's
the
gonna
ending.
happen.
You
I know
never know the
everything.
ending. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I
You
know
can never know
everything
the
that
ending.
I just have to write it.
Okay, you got this. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
text
I
you
will. Yeah.
Thursday and be like, where we at?
I'll probably be done by then, like, I'm
Oh yeah,
also,
because you're
like
off for the next 3 days. Yeah, you
yeah.
could do it. You could do it.
I also have really bad OCD, so, like, sometimes my OCD is focused on this is off a little off track, but not crazily, but my OCD focuses me where if, like, I watch a TV show and I like the episode, I'm watching all the motherfucking seasons.
Oh
All
yeah.
of them. All
Yeah.
5 of them, which I did all last week. I will eat, I will shower, I will take care of any other responsibilities, and I will sleep,
And just do that.
but I am watching that shit until it's fucking done,
Okay, so yeah. You know
which
what's
is
so
really my
funny?
writing.
Okay, I know sidetrack here, but I started watching this show called Fallout on Amazon Prime. I guess it's based on a video game. I don't know anything about the video game, but there's a character in this show that reminds me of like something you would have wrote. I don't know
Yeah,
if
you
you've seen it.
Walton Goggins,
Yes,
the ghoul.
the cool. And I was like, oh my god,
Yeah,
I feel like Ken would totally have a character like
I've seen
this
it all.
in his. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm taking my
yeah,
time with it.
not me.
I think I'm on episode 6 or 7, I think, because I'm just
As
it's
we've
so good.
discussed with my OCD,
Oh, no.
And I've been a
Okay.
huge Fallout fan since I was, since
Really? Yeah,
2005.
so I don't know anything about it, but I saw it kept
Yeah.
coming up my TikTok for you page, and I was like, oh, check it out. And oh my god, I love it. Yeah, but I'm taking my time with it because
Oh,
I don't want it to end.
it's
It's
so
so
good.
good.
Dude,
Yeah.
the games, I played Fallout 3, I played Fallout 4 New Vegas, I played Fallout 4, I played Fallout Vault. They're some
Wow.
of my favorite games
Okay,
ever
well, I'm
made
gonna
by
have to ask
Bethesda.
you stuff because I don't know anything. Oh, I don't know
I
anything,
know, oh,
but
that's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, but anyway, but yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I am so sorry, you guys. I have to cut this short. Because I have to go pick up my kids, and it's like a 30-minute drive, and so it's an hour commute
Let them
going back and
walk!
forth. I
That's
know,
what
I
they're saying. No,
know.
I'm joking, I'm joking.
I mean, my daughter's like texting me, and I'm like, okay, I'll be right there. But anyway, we hope you guys have a good writing week and a good reading week. I am going to do better this week. I'm going to try really hard to finish this book. It's not even that big. I don't know why I'm taking so long. I think
Yeah,
I was just so like into trying to fix my book or fix this
yeah.
manuscript, whatever. And then, of course, send us your query letter and your first page. Would be more than happy to give you feedback on it. And of course, if you're listening, we have a listener, I believe, in oh my god, I'm gonna kill my New
Norway?
Zealand, Norway.
Oh,
Is
is
it
it Norway?
Norway that I told you that they
I think
listen? This
so.
person listens to
Yes.
every single one of our episodes all the way through, wherever you're at, whoever you are. Thank you
Me
so much.
familia, I'm from Norway, my
Oh my
21andMe,
god.
I'm from Norway. So,
Thank
what's up,
you
fam?
so much. Yes. And if you're listening, if you want to give us a review or star rating, we would appreciate it. We'd love to just sort of push our podcast out there and get more
Yeah.
people to hear us ranting and raving, two writers drinking.
And,
I don't know.
if we knew your first name, we'll just talk to you for the last 20 minutes because 'cause you're the only one here.
Yes,
No, I'm joking.
you're listening. You're listening all the way through. We appreciate
Yeah,
you.
we love you. You're the
Yes,
best.
thank you. Our number one fan.
Yes.
Always
Ugh.
reminds me of that Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters movie where the kids got the podcast and it ends up being Ray, his only listener.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, that's
That
you?
number 1 fan reminds me of Misery because that's what Annie Wilkes says. "I'm
Oh,
your number 1 fan." Remember?
hey, you know what? Well, it's fine. We'll take it. It's fine. But anyway,
Yeah.
thank you guys for
I love
listening.
it.
We appreciate you guys. Yes. And we will see you guys maybe in a couple weeks or sooner
Hell
if
yeah.
Ken and I can manage it, I think. But
For
anyway,
sure.
yeah, thanks for listening and have a great week. Bye.
Bye.
That's it for today's episode, friends. We hope you learned something new today. Please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube under Two Writers Walk Into a Bar podcast. Our YouTube episodes will upload on Thursdays, the day after the show airs, if you want to watch. And if you want your query letter and first 3 pages critiqued and read on air by us, send them to our email at twowritersinabar@gmail.com. Put query on air in the subject line. We will read them on a first come, first served basis. Remember, we are here to help, inspire, and celebrate. Two Writers Walk Into a Bar podcast is produced by Brava Media Group.